Well, I sure appreciate your presence and your demeanor, and I'm really on the lookout for people that are actually genuine and articulate and have a heart. I'd say I'll consider you a friend. You did the work. You did this. When the right people are calling the shots, and like yourself, you've got these gifts and you've got these stories, you've got these abilities and these projects. That's why people like Steven Yissilmissil. It's like he knew all this. And when I was with that particular person, he was laughing at the death of my son. He was laughing in front of me in my home at the death of sons. It's like,
what? That's a blatant lie. You kidding me?
People that make opinions and that they're saying like egotistical things like this. People that make those opinions, you're doing worse than the cabal. You're doing worse than those that are pedophiles harming children. Whoa. You are worse than any of them with your opinions. You're doing more harm than those that are swinging the swords. I'm not out to put anybody down. No one. I don't want to be drawn into so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's putting down so-and-so. No, I don't have time for that.
What the f*** is going on here?
And so I'm holding this up because I think it's kind of fun. I'm in danger of being ridiculed by a evil snowman.
Oh my God!
I mean, the hat is nowhere else except on Burl Eyes. Facial fur. That's what I'm dealing with. It's like,
they're part of the Nephilim clown bloodline.
It's incredible. It's like, yeah. I mean, that's a nobody player.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
People like myself.
Asshole.
We're quick to forgive. We're quick to embrace. We'll be like somebody says, "I'm sorry for it. You got me. Let's celebrate." That's how we are. Instantly forgive. This garbage of false glory has got to stop, and I'm tired of it. Let's stop being turned on each other. And let's stop looking for ways to accuse each other of turning on each other. And let's start lifting each other. And we've got this. Those 14 other screenplays going on 15 that I have is for the new world order, new world that is our people.
Yeah.
So I am presenting my honorary Queen of the World for your courage,
Thank you.
brilliance, beauty, compassion, divine feminine, and never say no.
Thank you, baby.
There you are. Yeah, if I'm a fraud, bring it on. Let's do it. Come on, I'll be easy to debunk if I'm a fraud.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Welcome to the Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissil, and today, let's talk about it. I hope you all enjoyed the first 20 pages of The Immortals and The Matrix. The side-by-side comparison has begun. I plan on doing 7 installments of 20 pages each, and we will read through the entirety of both scripts. Every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Some of you are here from that stream that we just ended about 20 minutes ago. I see John's here and Lerny. And thank you guys for the comments on the new intro. So we have that interview that we were watching last week. We have another 2 hours of that to go. I doubt we'll get through the 2 hours. But you never know. I like to talk a lot in between So we're just going to have to see how it plays out. But I'm thankful for all you being here. Remember to drop a like below. And if you have any comments on any of this, please share it. Share your thoughts below. And I'll get back to you. Even if they're hateful comments. Which I've gotten a few telling me I need to do something else with my time. I already spent a lot of time on Tom Althouse, hosting him on my channel, giving him a platform to share his story. And now he is straight up making lies about what happened 2 years ago, this same time frame, April. You know, when I visited Tom at his house in Texas 2 years ago, it was the weekend of WrestleMania 40. And this weekend is WrestleMania 42. The nickname for WrestleMania is the Showcase of the Immortals. And I think it's quite fitting that today, for the first time ever, we all got to start hearing what exactly the Immortals has in its script. And thank you again, Tom, for giving me full permission to do so. So the interview that we were looking at last week, it's from the Psionic League YouTube channel. We left off at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 14 seconds, and we're going to continue on here. And we have Donna in the chat. Donna's my mom. Hello. Thank you for being here. She doesn't get to watch too many of these, but I'm thankful when she's here. See, now my mom and my dad know that I hosted Tom Althouse for a considerable amount of time. It was 2.5 years. And it hasn't even hit 2 years yet. It's like 1.5 years I've been doing like a reconnaissance mission here. Since October of 2024, when Tom believed I was no longer needed in his mission, right? After I pointed out that he had several handlers around him that were claiming to be his close friends, all of that just, it was too much for him. You know, there's cognitive dissonance. It's when you have an idea in your head and then you're faced with new information about that idea, and they're conflicting ideas. And it's either you accept that new idea into your thought processes, or you outright reject it, which is what Tom did. So I told Tom that he had 2 handlers, Penny L.A. Shepherd and Michael Jaco. And both of them he is still talking to this day. So I don't know what to tell you about it, but he clearly wants to pick sides. And as you saw in my intro, he's very hypocritical and talks out of both sides of his mouth. So it's not like I'm forcing his hand to do anything. I was just trying to help the dude. But now he's going on to shows and making up straight out lies about my behavior, painting me as a disgusting individual. Who goes around saying that people are laughing at the thought of dead children? He clearly thinks that he could say that about me. And I'm sure a lot of these other hosts They've moved on. Like I did a search here. Like there's a lot of these hosts. 6 months, 9 months. It's been 9 months since Roseanne had him on. I don't know. They just drop them off and they kind of move on and forget about it. Most of the time, it's a one and done. And you never hear about Tom again. So you'd figure Tom would want to give all the information possible in that one and done interview, right? No, he talks about the Neo character, the Smith character. He's not naming them. You have to compile multiple interviews in order to get this information in the correct format. So anyways, there's the first 20 pages up on this channel. Look for the Let's Read the Immortals video. It's all there. We just read through it. It took us 2.5 hours to get through 20 pages. So now we're going to watch more of this interview from last week, which is actually from March 17th of last month. But we're just getting around to it now. And, yeah, it should be a good show for what we're doing here. This is not the correct window. Give me a moment. But yeah, we're streamlining this so that everyone can get caught up on what's going on. And we're correcting the record because Tom is a liar on many fronts. But the thing we've been focusing on with this stream, with this interview that he did, is the fact that he made up a complete fabrication that I laughed in front of him in his house about his 2 dead sons, which he has no photographs of in the house, nothing hanging on the walls, no memories shared of the good times he had with them. He uses them as a scapegoat in many of these interviews. Lerny left a comment on one of the reels. Like, and I agree with you, Lerny. Like, if we were in his position and we started doing the same things he's doing, if we had deceased children of our own and we were under the impression that elite forces, or whatever you want to call it, took them out because of what you were doing, would you bring it up all the time just in that context, or would you share stories about the time that you spent together with them? He never does that. It's wild, man. I don't know what to say. But let's continue on here. I put it 4 seconds prior to where we left off, so it's pretty accurate. I am putting it back to 1.5 speed so that we can get through this faster. Let's get back to... Alright, so we're starting at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 8 seconds.
It's like absent from them. Have you noticed this with the field of people in and how they're stealing your work and others?
Well, that's the thing. You just raised something so important that I never talked about before, and you just sparked it. I want to take a side element of that, not to dodge a question, but to just take something that hit me really hard. The other side, what they...
That's Tom's bread and butter, dodging questions. Goes on tangents that don't have anything to do with the question being asked, which I've personally experienced on this channel here. The 22 interviews with him. by the second one, he wasn't answering direct questions anymore.
Do often is they're so immersed in pleasure. Like in Black Sails, they asked the silver character, why was he afraid of falling into the darkness? He said the reason that darkness is scary is because it feels good. That's why you go down to it. It feels good. Now take that for what's happening with people we just are discussing here. It feels good for them. But the thing is, they end up spending
No. And see, he brought me up several times in this interview in the first hour alone. So he is referring back to me here. I am not taking pleasure out of this. Like, I'm doing this so that he cannot smear my name any more than he already has.
most of their time pleasuring themselves. Myself, I dedicated myself, as I'm sure many others have, to basically a monastic approach where I'm going to be doing whatever I do dedicated for humanity, as a gift to humanity, to try to make a safer world, a better world, like I texted you. And it's like, that means that I have a discipline to my life, a discipline to my goal and to my focus, not on pleasuring myself. If I'm focused on pleasuring myself, which is what the Wachowskis were offered by De Laurentiis,
all he's doing is going on women's shows and flirting with them and trying to court half of them. What does that tell you? He finds pleasure in talking down about all of these Hollywood execs, all these actors and crew members. He's talking shit left and right about these people. This is all he does. He doesn't have a job. When I was there 2 years ago, he got approved for government benefits. You know, like EBT? Because he wasn't working. And then we found out later, after like sometime last year, he was trying to do a GoFundMe for $3,850 a month with no reason as to where the money would go, which we were speculating here that he was just trying to raise money to pay his property tax bill that his mom bought the house for him with. Like, his mom bought his house for him to live in. This dude's 60 years old, 60 plus. I don't know.
They were promised when they failed at everything. I said, dropped out of school, failed their business painting contract. Their mom said all they did was read comic books. They were wined and dined by De Laurentiis and told they would have riches, fame, and beautiful women. As if
that's the things that he likes. He wants riches. He wants $2 billion, which he says is owed to him. He settled for nothing, actually. That court case in 2013, 2014, I found out he had to pay Warner Brothers around $58,000. So he got screwed in the court case. He screwed himself. He walked out of his own deposition. I don't know why you do that. You get so far in this and then you walk out and say time's up, interrogator. And you talk over the person interrogating you so much that the transcriber needs to blur it out to say, shut up, basically, because everybody's talking over each other. Like, it's not a good thing. So he threw out his own case. Him walking out of his own deposition gave the court leeway to do a summary judgment and just say, fuck it, this guy's not taking this seriously. We're not going to take him seriously either. Like, there's no connection here. Like, whatever, get out of here. And now, ever since, for the past 12 years, he does one and done shows where he goes on, he talks about his 2 dead sons. He goes and talks about how he's making a documentary, which is never released. I go to his place 2 years ago to film the documentary, and then he says, no, we're not filming a documentary anymore. We're going to write a book. It's always bait and switch with this asshole. But I digress.
Starlets, as if they were a commodity. If someone came to me and said that, with the burden on my shoulders to try to make this world right with other warriors, like yourself, and others that are listening in, what would happen if I said, yeah, I want the wine, women, and the power, or the money? Well, my creativity is going to go down the drain. My silver pen is going to become a suffocated blue pen. I'm not going to have the creativity and the spark anymore, because the eyes are off of the target.
It's already happened, Tom. You've already lost sight of your target. You've strayed away from whatever creativity you were using to come up with your stories. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know what he's doing other than going on these shows, talking on the phone with people about these shows. These one and done shows. There's the Michael Jaco show, and then there's the Penny L.A. Shepherd show. Those are like the longest running shows now. The two people I told him are his handlers. He didn't like that.
If I am going to be creating great work, my heart has to be transferred into the art medium. My passions, my life, layers of feeling have to be tangible and palatable for the audience. And I have to be serving them, not thinking what they can do for me. Wachowski's took it and did that opposite, the latter. I embrace the former. I look forward to the film actually being watched.
So tell me this. We read 20 pages of both The Matrix and The Immortals today. With The Matrix, the script that was labeled the shooting script from March of 1998, how does that match up exactly to what shows up in the final cut? If he's claiming that they had the Immortal script in their laps the entire time they were shooting the film. Tell me that one. Makes no sense. He's going off of somebody calling him and telling him, oh yeah, that's what happened. For all he knows, that's another handler that could have been saying something to him. Or somebody just messing with him. Yeah, Tom. I saw it all. I was on the set. Please keep me anonymous. But he's not going to think about that, is he? He'll just accept whatever fits the narrative.
And what's the current state of everything in things you're doing right now? You're gonna try to remake or make a better one. And what's the current hurdles you're facing, and how potentially we could help releasing those blocks?
Whatever you can do in energetic field, spiritually, whatever would be a help. Anything. I know about that protection thing, and I want that fortified. I would like that for all of us. So
yeah, you're not going to have it, Tom, because you're operating in a low vibrational field. All you're doing is going on and trash talking all of these studios, which, I mean, they kind of deserve, but not from what you're claiming, because you're conflating a lot of different events, trying to make it all about you. You're saying that these studios are still using the Immortals. We read 20 pages of that script. Where's a movie about a monkey in a pillowcase besides that one Dustin Hoffman movie? It's like, we just have to take Tom's word for it, right? That he wanted to cast Dustin Hoffman in the Immortals. Because that's the only thing that's going to help stitch together his narrative. Yes, that movie, and this movie, and this movie. The Mel Gibson movie, Forever Young, came out in 94. He was talking about having a script written in 92. He said he tried to go to court over Demolition Man, also released, I believe, in 92. He tried to claim that Demolition Man stole from the Immortals. This was going on after The Matrix was released, which he watched in a movie theater. And he walked out of because he thought it was too violent. And no, he said in the deposition, at the time he watched The Matrix, he saw no connective tissue to the Immortals.
That would be a big help. Anybody that's good at that kind of work, I would welcome that with roses and flowers. But the thing is that as far as my current situation, the other side's gone silent. Right now, they're totally using that Minion D player approach. Like you'll see online, if you look at my name, suddenly there's these guys pointing and screaming and yelling, and Tom's a liar. So that.
Hey, he's talking about me again, isn't he? I haven't gone silent at all. In fact, I upped the production of all the reels. Especially after what we heard last week from this show. Him trying to say I laughed in front of him about his two dead sons. You know how egregious that is? For him to even make that up like that? But at the same time, there's narcissists that do the same thing. They will take your sincere words that you say or your actions that you do, and they flip it on you. They act a victim. I did not ever laugh about his dead sons. Like it was funny that they're dead. Which is exactly what he said here. He accused me of doing. Now, I'm not guilty until proven innocent. This guy is lying. Not only about that, but about this whole thing with Hollywood, with the Immortals being stolen and used in dozens of movies. It's ridiculous when you step back and think about it.
That's their tactic now, is a pull back and let lower forms go for it. You know, like dogs attacking, they're releasing the dog.
So I guess what he's saying here is that the higher up elites have stepped back. And then I'm here, the D-list anonymous, what he calls me, right? The D-list anonymous players are now stepped up to bat, right? It's like, come on, give me a break, man. I was helping you for 2.5 years. I flew out to your house in Texas from Illinois to film your documentary, dude. And then you said you didn't want to do it. You wanted to write a book instead because you thought that was a better idea to do. And then after that 2-week step, you know what? I actually have audio here. I'm going to play some of that audio now. We'll get back to this in a minute. We're at, 107:34. We only got 3 minutes into that. But it's important to mention here. I have audio from the last day I was there. Meaning the next day I left. Right? So I'm there for 2 weeks. For some reason he thinks I laughed in front of him about his 2 dead sons, right? So you'd think if that happened at any point during that trip that I was there, it would have happened before those last 48 hours I was there. Right? It seems reasonable enough, right? That's when that would have happened. Let me get this queued up. Because I had an audio recorder that he knew I was recording different conversations we were having. I went and got approval, basically. I'm like, you okay if we record this? And he's like, yes. So, not much else I could say. But let me bring this audio clip up. There's actually 2 of them. Okay. We got it ready. So this first one's 1 minute and 32 seconds. And I want to make sure you guys are hearing that more so than the music. So I'm going to turn it way down. All right. You ready for this one? This is from... Oh, man. I need to be very accurate with this. Give me a moment. I gotta go back in the folder here. Yeah, so this was February 18th, 2024. So it's literally 2 years and a day ago. We got this ready. All right, let's hear what's happened. So to give some context here, I was on... So I was sitting in the room at the computer with Tom, talking with Jen, who he had built his website, right? You know, the website that's called TomAlthouse.com? The one that I told him use your name, TomAlthouse.com. And he's like, no, that's too conceited. I want to do something different. Well, he ended up going with that anyway. Doesn't credit me for that. He probably believes that Jen came up with that idea, but you know, whatever. I was there with my Weebly account. I bought a temporary URL that would be accessed going through my website, right? So that all occurred already up to this point. And here, this was from a 2.5 hour, like you could even see this here because I was recording from the audio file, and then we'll get into it. It's a 2 hour 29, so it's a 2.5 hour audio clip. But this was near the end of it, because I was just skimming through it to see, like, if he was acting differently, like if he actually did think I laughed about his sons. But no, again, I say he's a narcissist. Because he twists the words of the genuine people. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. But take a listen to this. It's the three of us talking here.
People that do Hollywood stuff, and I don't know if that's an idea cycling or whatever, but I'm an idea machine. So
Right.
That's my question, and I can do this, and I've always been that way.
No, I see. You stood out. I told Steven, you stood out from everybody, and it's like I think the three of us are supposed to do something. Like it's going to be amazing. And
he says, "I think the three of us are supposed to do something. I think it'll be amazing." Right? Why would he be saying that if he claims that I laughed about his two dead sons in front of him? And that at that point he knew he needed to find better people. Why would he say that I am the one of two total people that should be helping him? If that were the case, that if I laughed about his two dead sons in front of him, why would he be saying I'm one of two people that should be helping him?
can generate not only a system for writing that's going to work and help you free people up and get the right components needed for that technically, but also our stories out. So it's very important for our stories to be told now. Like you held up a bunch of pages. So
yeah,
let's get
that's only the ones I have an ADD box to put away in a Doom box. So I mean I could probably go back and find my notes.
And what's going to happen is it'll be a fresh start with the process we have now. You'll be simply telling friends your story. You'll be telling friends in whatever order you want, whatever comes to you. You can rest, eat your favorite foods, and suddenly you'll be like, oh, I just remember this part. And you tell us that part. And we record that part perfectly. So we get that part down, the one that wants to be born at that time. Then you go back, and another part will come up. And then you got these gems that are solidified that you don't have to search for. You've got them down, and that will encourage, through any trauma too, it'll encourage other gems to come forward. So, and the pieces will fall together.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's how the process will work.
Okay, so that was the first clip. Now let me get the second clip ready. And it's from the same exact audio. But why would he be making plans to collaborate with me if I had done what he said that I did? So this is only an 18-second clip, but check this out. Listen to what Tom has to say about us, about Jen and I.
Which is cool if it could also harness your audio clip and make an audio book.
Yes! Oh my God! Brilliant! Okay, this is meant to be, we three are the ones. So, yeah, this is meant to be.
He said it's meant to be twice.
Which is cool.
We three are the ones it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Now, would you say that he's being deceptive here if what he claims about me is true? Why would he lead people on like that if I did what he claimed I did, which I didn't? He was ready to move forward with everything he wanted to do with me and Jen by his side. Penny L.A. Shepherd wanted him to visit her at Susie's ranch, because that's where Penny was living at the time. Once we Googled how far Susie's ranch was, Tom and I both agreed, you know what, it's too far of a drive. Because he had the Mustang with the blown muffler that he said was the engine making the noise. Like, we're not going to drive that thing for 4.5 hours upstate Texas to go visit Penny for a day. So he was so on board with having me and Jen help out with practically everything. He wanted me to write 4 books for him. That's after him inviting me to his house to film the documentary, which he flipped his mind on by the time I got there. What a bait and switch that I fell into, right? I'll play this one more time.
Which is cool if it could also harness your audio clip to make an audio better.
Yes! Oh my god! Brilliant. Okay, this is meant to be, we 3 are the ones. So, yeah, this is meant to be.
Why would he be saying that if I laughed in front of him about his 2 dead sons? I'll give you the answer. It's because I never laughed in front of him about his 2 dead sons. And like I said last week, I haven't laughed about his 2 dead sons behind his back either. That's what I meant when I said outside of him. Outside of his view. So, like, yeah, behind his back. No, I haven't ever done that. In his presence or out of his presence. Got it? So anyways, I wanted to clarify that, and I wanted to show the irony of Tom Althouse telling us that we're the ones for the job, right? So how many other people has he told that to? That after a certain time, they just throw their hands up. They're like, you know what? Like, this isn't worth my time. Do you blame these other hosts for just walking away? I don't. So we're going to jump back into this show we were reviewing. Let's get right back to it.
The thing is that as far as my current situation, the other side's gone silent. Right now, they're totally using that Minion D player approach. Like, you'll see online, if you look up my name, suddenly there's these guys pointing and screaming and yelling, you know, and Tom's a liar. So that's their...
Yeah. You see, because I stood my ground. And I said, this guy is not telling the truth about one thing or the other, or all of it. And all he has to say is, get a life, you man, baby. That's all he said to me directly. But then he goes on to all these other shows and talks crap and makes fun of me and like about my looks. He doesn't address anything I'm saying here. What does that tell you about him? Tells me he's a fraud. Because he can't genuinely answer any question that challenges what he's trying to argue.
Pull back and let lower forms go for it. You know, like dogs attacking, they're releasing the dogs. Like in Game of Thrones, when they send the dogs to tear out the girl.
He's calling me a lower form. He's calling me a dog. Do you understand that? That's the way this guy thinks.
So it's like, that's their tactic right now because they're concerned. The word coming down is the tops are very, very concerned. So they're releasing their pawns. But it used to be the tops were in.
I'm not a pawn of anybody up top. I'm here doing this of my own volition, dude. He makes up in his head that anybody who goes and questions his narrative all of a sudden are part of the cabal. Like, no, dude. I have nothing to do with them. And I'm not getting paid by anybody to do this.
Involved in toppling me. Now they're scared. Now you're seeing negotiations from the top where they're like, we might offer you this. Well, why don't you think about coming in? Like I said before, be a script doctor, while they're allowing the lower ones to tug at the heels. So my understanding is that the more they use the lower ones to attack, the more our story is fortified, actually.
Again, nobody is using me to attack you, Tom. All I'm doing here is critiquing and reviewing everything you've ever said and done live on air, plus the stuff that you gave permission to record at your house, which I just played, which contradicts what you said in this same interview about me last week when we were reviewing this. And thanks for giving me permission to read The Immortals. That's fine, you said. I take that as verbal permission.
Because when people actually take a look at it and get by the song and dance that is just absurd, you actually see the evidence. And that's what we want, is people to look at the evidence. So if that drives them towards the evidence, then so be it. So
we looked at the first 20 pages of The Immortals. I, along with my viewers, didn't really see any connection, some solid ironclad connections in those 20 first pages, dude. So what does that say? Oh, they lifted material and mixed it up? Dude, you don't even mention your characters' names in the context when you're speaking about your script. You use the Wachowski names when you talk about your script. You say Neo instead of Jim Reese, which is the character in your script. Jim Reese is your character, not Neo. Kurt Berenger is who you mean to say when you're speaking about the Immortals, but instead you say Agent Smith. What, is it so that the listeners of these shows can put it together easier? No, you are not addressing that your characters are named the way they are. You're just straight up saying the names the Wachowskis used to further validate whatever points you're trying to make here. I would be using my characters' names all the time if I was in your position and this was a real thing that was going on. Jim Reese, a.k.a. Neo. Kurt Berenger, a.k.a. Agent Smith. You're not saying this on air. That's a big problem.
Right
nice.
now, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying if that makes sense. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, sure. And for people wondering about the noise in the background, it's hailing like crazy, and I'm in Mexico. That's crazy. It's near the equator. But so I'm taking that as a nice sign. Yeah. So going to more stuff. Are you aware of things like Mandela effects?
Yes, I've heard about this. I don't know all the details of all these things because I basically, to survive, I focused into my corner of the work, the Neuralink and everything else, like you said. I've been focusing on that. And like the
Tom tried to say that he came up with the iPad and that it was in his script. So we went to that page several shows ago, and we did today as well. We treaded over that same material earlier today in the first 20 pages. It is a device the size of a clipboard. Probably the thinness of a clipboard too, right? But has buttons on it. Not an iPad. Here he's claiming about Neuralink is his idea as well. Very far-fetched. And these are all my streams of thought here. Again, no strings attached above me, mother. No strings whatsoever. I'm doing this on my own. Yeah, I've had people come and try to buy my interviews of you from my channel. And then they threatened legal action against me because somehow whatever you're talking about is actually you talking about these people who are threatening to sue me because I'm not going to take the videos down. It's my creative content having you on my channel. Got it? I'm sure Tom understands that. But this other guy that whatever you did to them, I'm sure it's no different than what you've done to me and all these other hosts that you've cut ties with. All because they were trying to help you. The ones that just don't go along with your bullshit. The ones trying to center you. Like you're all over the place, man. I don't get it. What court case? What movie? It's not being made. What crew? What crew do you have that's going to make it? Where's that GoFundMe for the $3,850 a month? What money was going from that? And where was it going? You conned one of your hosts to pay you $200. Good job. Good job. It's part of the grift, right? Get less than 10% of what you're asking for. And you pull the plug and you call it a success. That's you, Tom Althouse.
And the curtain. I'm focused on the curtain. So it's like...
So the reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of theories on what Mandela effects is. My current one in tuning into things psychically, there's a lot. There's misremembering. There's temporal adjustments to the timeline in like a garden and all these other timelines create, and sometimes they collapse in and merge or get taken out. And there's different perceptions on that and then people that, because I've heard stories that go into like craziness that can't be anything else. Now, some certain movies have more multidimensional functionality to them and displacement in time, meaning they are changeable. And every time I see The Matrix, it's like there's new scenes that I've never seen before. As well, did you know that the Bible mentions The Matrix 5 times?
No, I did not.
I'll read some if you want.
See, now, along with Tom having this questionable story, you know, his life story and all that, and it's very spotty when he recollects what happened. You throw in some real mysteries like the Mandela effect and the Matrix words being in the Bible. And that's where you blend in Tom's BS with real world topics that have validity to them, and it crosses over. And it further detracts from getting to the bottom of what Tom's talking about. Because, yeah, he'll sit here and agree. Oh, yeah, the Mandela effect. Yeah. 9/11 was an inside job. Yeah. Yeah, we never went to space. Yeah. Like, he'll go and follow those trains of thought just so that you don't question the things he's saying. Now, what he said about me in this interview, completely false. I never laughed about his two dead sons. In front of him or behind his back. But that's what he's claiming now. And when a narcissist does that, you have to wonder, are they reframing their perspective so much? They're skewing it so much to favor them, they don't even know they're doing it? And then it all comes down to perspectives. I might laugh at how ridiculous the elites are at like trying to get this guy, right? Like the stories he says, like, oh, they're out to get me. They sent this, they did that, blah, blah, blah. And I could go, oh, man. And then he'll take it as me going, No. Two completely different emotions. Two completely different reactions. But he'll take that. Oh, man, that's wild. That's terrible. I can't believe they did that. They'll take that. They'll say that I was being sarcastic, or you're being sarcastic saying that. But they'll wait until time has gone by until they bring that perspective up. And in the meantime, they'll play like there's nothing wrong. It's a typical narcissistic trait. Lerny in the chat says, in the Bible, matrix means womb or place of origin. Has nothing to do with simulations. Yep. That is true. But you see, Tom's only getting airtime because of what he has on his screen here. Let me blow this up for you. Because I did have other commenters come into my channel on my videos here and say, Tom's never claimed to be the writer of The Matrix. Well, what do you call this? Tom Althouse, author of Matrix, writer of The Matrix screenplay. Sure sounds like he's claiming that he wrote The Matrix, doesn't it? That's how he gets slots on people's shows. Because people go, holy crap, this is the guy that created The Matrix. No. He wrote The Immortals. He thinks Hollywood took it and made The Matrix. That's what is going on here. Okay, just for clarification.
I love that because we were wondering why they picked that title, and here's what I was told, because I think it's an overlay, combination of yours and mine.
No, he's going to go here and say, like, The Matrix is an anagram of The Immortals. It's not. There's words, there's letters that are not used. A perfect example of this is what I saw, and this also relates to WrestleMania and the weekend of the showcase of The Immortals. Ironically called that. Coincidentally called that. Synchronistically is called that. Stephanie McMahon was inducted into the Hall of Fame, right? Now, there's rumors that Macho Man Randy Savage was having an affair with Stephanie McMahon when she was still a teenager, before she turned 18. Somebody on Facebook in the comments wrote, hey, if you rearrange the letters of Stephanie McMahon, every letter is used to create the sentence, the Macho Man penis. Now that's wild, right? That's wild. But all the letters are used. Stephanie McMahon, the Macho Man penis. It's all the same letters. This guy is trying to say they took some letters from the Immortals and added an X. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have an extra M. You have an extra S. They're not used. It doesn't fall into that category. All the letters have to be used if you're making that deciphering, right? And that's not what's happening here. But he's about to talk about that here. So let's just hear what this asshole has to say about that.
I was told they took the Immortals title, right? And to mock the author, like they put all that stuff, they can, if you go to TomAlthouse.com, anybody can look this up, the inserts where it's like the train, my name, my high school, my dad's name, as I said, it's all there. It can't be refuted. And ChatGPT, the one girl that did my website, she looked it up. It was 1 in 333 trillion was the odds that would be accidental. You know, so it's like, you know, authors and all stuff. But look at the Immortals, and how many letters do you get to spell out Matrix? So what the Wachowskis did was they tried to be clever and rearrange the letters of the title to get Matrix by adding an X, which went to the guy who took the tech.
Well, the O isn't used either, is it? The L isn't used either. So you have an extra M, O, L, and S. And you add an X. That's what he's trying to say here. And since this guy's a first-time interviewer of him, and probably the only time, I mean, they they pontificate about doing 15 episodes together. Again, Sean Bond, if you're listening to this at all, like, run away. All you're going to do is have your time wasted and then having to try to go and reclaim your name because it's getting tainted with this guy.
And that's something.
Very interesting.
Play on, it's like an anagram, whatever it is. So isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go on. Yeah.
Here's the passages from the Bible. Exodus 13:12. That thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix. Every firstling that cometh of a beast.
Look at Tom right now. He is giddy to no end. Yeah, we're talking about the Matrix. It has nothing to do with his script, dude. And I'm betting that the Matrix is not even mentioned in the Immortals at all.
Which thou hast, the male shall be the Lord's. And people, I look up like, what the hell does that mean? And like people like maybe like associated with womb or gates or something. I don't know how that makes sense, but whatever. There's another one. And it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man, the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix.
Oh my God.
Being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And that's Exodus 13:15. And then Exodus 34:19. All that openeth the matrix is mine. And every firstling among thy cattle with ox or sheep, that is male. Go ahead.
See how he loves hearing this? All that openeth the matrix are mine. And like, we don't know what he's thinking, but we can guess, right? It's all mine. My name's Tom. It's all mine. I made it all. It's all mine. Like, that's how he's behaving right now. It's wild. It's what? Crazy stuff, right? We can just dismiss it as crazy. But this guy's meticulous, while at the same time oblivious. If that's even possible.
Come and I'll read the other.
This is just fascinating. I mean, you want to finish first? I mean, I know I'm interjecting my responses. But,
feel free. I mean,
opening the matrix. And the whole thing I got was, I was writing this piece. I thought to, give glory to God, as a Christian boy and a Christian young man. And it's like, it turns out, it looks like it's to make sure that we will construct a entryway to the portal that our parentals, I call them, can come to us. And what a reunion that would be.
Parentals. So he talked about this on Roseanne Barr's show, and we covered the clips of it already. He thinks there's multiple gods. There's not one mighty true God, the Heavenly Father Creator. He thinks there's multiple sets of parents of gods. So this dude's not following Christianity whatsoever. And he claimed on Roseanne Barr's show that he is actually Jewish. Oh, so what a surprise. Yeah. So what is he? There's no such thing as a Judeo-Christian. It doesn't exist. It's an oxymoron.
I'm told at the higher dimension, higher level, they can see us and hear us, but we can't see and hear them. Can you imagine that being the parents of children? Let's just take that kind of, where they can't hear you and see you, and you're calling out to them, and you have to implant.
You see how it's reversed? He's following a satanic line of thought, where we can hear God, but God can't hear us? No. For the most part, for most people, they can't hear God, but God hears all of us. And there's only some people that can actually hear God speak back. But that's not what Tom's saying here. Tom's saying we can hear the gods with an S, but the gods can't hear us. That's satanic in itself, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Through gravity and light is the effects they can do. The idea of what's needed to make that bridge halfway. And so when you look at it in that way, and you're reading these things about opening the matrix, I'm so struck right now by everything from Shawn Michael name to everything else. I'm just so struck feeling the presence of my sons and energy and you and everything.
Tom seeked this guy out of how many people went to these UFO conventions, which Tom had no place being at a UFO convention. But he found somebody with the same name as one of his deceased sons, and he chose to go on their show. Like, come on, man.
And those listening probably, the energy I'm picking that up too. We're at that point right now. The timelines are coming back together, and it will open. And how many movies do you see, Sean, where in Transformers and others, where they go, the portal is bad, and Night at the Museum, bird pharaoh creatures are going to come through and consume us. It's like the portals are bad, portals are bad, portals are bad. What if Hollywood did know this? And that's why they wanted my screenplay. That's why they came so hard on it. Because it's all through here. The ending's right there. Enough to kill George Michael.
I'm doubting George Michael was killed because of Tom Althouse. It doesn't make sense. But he'll cast you out if you say that. Keep that in mind.
Because he was the best witness of the work being done. If you look at the end here, it says, he read this before we submitted. I gave it to him to check. See the bottom there?
How did he have contact with George Michael? He had an Alan Parsons project too at the beginning. Did he meet them too and get their approval to put it in? No, what I think he did is he took music that he was buying from the store or hearing on the radio, and he inserted it into his screenplay, and he's like, this is what I'd like. But I don't think he ever talked to George Michael. I don't think he ever talked to Alan Parsons project, because otherwise he'd be talking about how he also contacted Alan Parsons. Alan Parsons project is in the beginning of this script. George Michael is the song that plays during the credits at the end, right? We haven't gotten to that page in reading it and doing the review and critique. But how come he's not talking about Alan Parsons project? Because that's the opening credits. And here he's talking about George Michael being in the end credits. And that he personally sent this script to George Michael. And that George Michael gave him approval. George Michael was... he was alive when he was doing his court case in 2013, 2014. Why didn't he bring him in as a witness? Tom can't blame everything on the state-supplied lawyer that he ended up getting because he had no funding to get his own lawyer. He chose to do the state-sponsored attorney. In a way, it's his fault that his attorney ended up being from Warner Brothers. The state-supplied attorney, if you wanted an ironclad case, supply your own attorney that you know is not compromised. Right? I think I'm asking some valid questions here.
So he read the full script in 1993 before I submitted in 93, certified mail, tracking receipt, everything from the Boyd & Boyd law firm. They sent it in. He read it all to give permission to use Praying for Time. And the words he said, Sean, was, well, submit it with it, and we'll see where it goes. Remember his phrase, see where it goes. So he read the full script as the best witness that this was done.
So it was a mail, by mail communication. You see how he set it up like I got the impression he met with George Michael here. Now, another question I have is, did he mail this same script out to Alan Parsons project? Probably not. But why would he do it for one and not the other? Or did he do it for both and only get one response back, which was from George Michael? Again, I think these are valid questions. But he wants to say that I'm sent here from the elite to talk bad about him, right? That's what he wants to say. It's so twisted. I'm here on a Sunday doing this on my own time.
In 1993, remember I said about the restored pieces from pre-93? CIA film department is being credited by Michael Jaco. It's like he was killed for no reason on Christmas in 2016 when the case was fully...
Did he say what I think he said? Let's listen to that again.
CIA.
We're going to listen to that at normal speed.
Film department is being credited by Michael Jaco. It's like full script is the best witness that this was done in 1993. Remember I said about the restored pieces from pre-93? CIA film department is being credited by Michael Jaco. It's like
CIA film department that's being credited by Michael Jaco? What is he talking about? Michael Jaco's the guy that he's meeting up with and doing interviews with now. He's been. He was doing them before I did the first interview with Tom. I don't get it, man. That's why I said he's your handler, dude. Former CIA Michael Jaco? Your friend? You just like everybody that glows in the dark, don't you?
he was killed for no reason. On Christmas in 2016, when the case was fully thrown, they say his heart gave out, which in black sales, they say the heart gave out when you're murdered. So he was the best witness that the work was completed. And
so why did they take him out 2 years after the case was dismissed? Why didn't you use him as a witness in your case, Tom? Why didn't you contact George Michael and say, go on the stand and vouch for me? You didn't do that, did you? Did you leave it in your lawyer's hands? The state-sponsored lawyer? That would probably do the bare minimum to help you? Again, valid questions. Invalid accusations from Tom about me. Tom is a liar. Tom is a grifter. Tom is a fraud.
1993. Take that, Stephen. So what we got is... So he was the best witness that the work was completed in 1993.
Did he just say, take that, Stephen? Really? Did he just say, take that, Stephen? Because that would be another reference to me. Let's hear.
Take that, Stephen. Which in black sales, they say the heart gave out when you're murdered. So he was the best witness that the work was completed in 1993. Take that, Stephen. So...
Wow. So he thinks like he has a gotcha here. Like he has a gotcha moment on me. He's talking directly about me. This isn't a, oh, I think he's talking about me. No. Michigan J. Frog, same song and dance. Yissilmissil Productions, Stephen Yisel, he's talking about me. I am him. Take that, Steve. Dude. You didn't dunk on anything here. Hey, Andreas, good to see you here. This takes a lot of energy out of me. I don't like having to defend myself like this. In fact, I've been on the offense for quite a while until he brought this lie up about me on this show. And he's sitting here saying, take that, Stephen. He was told not to talk about me. He can't keep his mouth shut about me, can he?
Which in black sales, by Michael Jaco, it's like...
Listen.
He was killed for no reason. On Christmas in 2016, when the case was fully thrown, they say his heart gave out. Which in black sales, they say the heart gave out when you're murdered. So he was the best witness that the work was completed in 1993. Take that, Stephen.
Why wasn't he on the stand in 2013, 2014 for you? Why'd you walk out of your own deposition? Again, valid questions that we probably will never get an answer to. I can't believe he thinks he's dunking on me here.
They say the heart gave out when you're murdered. So he was the best witness that the work was completed in 1993. Take that, Stephen. So what we got is, I'm just overwhelmed today. I'm just overwhelmed. Wonderful feeling that we have an answer today. We have an answer from back then when a young man asked, probably with others around the world, a remnant of people I called it, that have hearts and compassions and are enlightened and powerful.
Well, I don't believe that somebody broke into your house and left scripts on your bed while you were out in Florida at a UFO convention. And then you come back home and you see no signs of a break-in and you just assume that the feds came in and gave your scripts back to you. I call total bullshit on that one. A more convincing story is you opened one of your boxes from your move and you found your old scripts in it. And then you were too much in a hurry to go through all of it before you left for Florida, so you left them on your bed and forgot about it. And then when you came back, you thought, oh, this is going to be a good story to cook up to say that they just mysteriously broke into your house. Your son Aiden couldn't even see it. He was home for, it was around Easter time, right? This was 1 year ago. You're telling me that Aiden and you were not home, that the home was empty? Instead of spending Easter with your only son? You're at a UFO convention in Florida, and the feds break in and give you your scripts back. I call total bullshit on that. Other people eat it right up. Oh my God, oh yeah. Oh, I can't believe they did that. At least they returned them. That's good. That means that they know that you're on the winning side and they want to be on the winning side. No. I'm not buying that bullshit anymore. I didn't buy it when you said it last year. At that point, it was 6 months where you refused to iron things out here with me. What went wrong? You could have talked to me about how you didn't like that I called your friends your handlers. I called 2 people your handlers. One of them while I was still talking to you, and the second one, Michael Jaco, afterward. But no, he thinks he's dunking on me talking about something from 93 with George Michael. Why wasn't George Michael a part of your case 3 years before he passed, while he was still alive? Don't blame your lawyer. Don't blame your lawyer. I bet you had a bunch of people, including family, that would have paid for your court expenses if you just didn't be such an asshole to them and cut them off. And then you had no choice but to take a state-sponsored attorney from Hawaii, because that's where you were living at the time. Not to mention you were in Canada, you were also in Virginia, you're in Texas. Why all the moving around? How can you afford to have all of these different houses at different points? I don't even know people that have that many places. And some that are in a worse position than you are right now. You still have your sight. You still have your hearing. You still have all your limbs. You still have your daughter and your youngest son. You don't talk to your daughter. You call your script your baby girl. You have a daughter, an adult daughter, and you call your script that's probably just as old your baby girl. Lerny says, I don't see how that could be a flex on Yissil. Well, you got to keep in mind, Lerny, this is a narcissist here. All they're doing, it's deflection central with narcissists. Oh, it's the way you, I could say the most genuine, caring, loving things, and the narcissist will turn it around and say I'm sarcastic. I could laugh at how ridiculous other people's actions are in a story that's being shared to me. And instead of seeing it the way it should be seen, they twist it in their own minds and wait months and months, in this case, years, and then turn it around and be like, oh, no, he was laughing in front of me about my 2 dead sons. No, I never did that. That's like, he's trying to commit character assassination on me. All I'm doing here is calling out his bullshit. He shouldn't be going on as many shows as he is with all these new people. If you actually had seasoned hosts that had you on like I did, they'd probably fall into the same category as me. Cast out like a leper. Because I was speaking some truth to you. And you couldn't handle it. And most of the time, narcissists are the very thing they accuse you of. So you called me a man baby? Well, I think you're a man baby, Tom. Because you can't have an adult conversation with anyone. You're just the gossip queen. Oh my God, did you hear about this? And did you hear about this? And there's so many layers. There's so many layers. Sorry I talked for so long. You asked me a question and I answered nothing of it. But do you get it? Like, I'm over all of it, dude. Your grift is up. And you lie about me. On public channels. Where other people... You know, it's a good thing that not that many people have watched this interview. And hopefully going forward, this is the only place they'll watch it. Unless they want to seek it out for themselves to see if it's still up in a few months' time. Or a few years' time. You can be guaranteed all of this content I'm producing now and everything I've produced in the past is always going to be up on the internet. In one way, form, or another. Keep that in mind, Tom. For all of you new here watching my show today, I suggest you go back and watch the intro to this show. And I will play it back for the outro as well. But it just shows how hypocritical Tom is. Because in one moment in time, he'll say, you're one of the few people that get it. You're so genuine, and your questions are challenging and honest, and your work ethic is strong. But no. Now, I'm a D-list anonymous nobody. I'm a dog. Like, you hear the things he's talking about me now? You hear how he's talking about me now? It's because I called his handlers out. He didn't like hearing the truth. It's like he took the blue pill from the Wachowski's Matrix. He plugged back in. Woke up in his bed and believed whatever he wanted to believe. Right? He chose to not follow the white rabbit. Oh well. He used to call me the Morpheus of his story. He said, you are part of the story now, Steve. Oh yeah. But you know what? You've put me in such a position here. And now you're trying to paint me as the bad guy here. But yet you go on all these other shows talking about unity and how we have to stay away from division. Dude, why didn't you try to patch things up? Oh, that's right. You thrive off of division. You thrive off of it. That's why you had to pay Warner Brothers $58,000 of your own money. If it even was your own money. Did you make your mom pay Warner Brothers $58,000, Tom? I'd really like to know that. If you made your mom pay $58,000 for a court bill to Warner Brothers because you walked out of your own deposition because you said you had the flu or whatever the fuck you're in the zone. Talk about football for a moment. You have the football. The field is clear. You see the end zone. And you throw the ball at one of the opponent players. One of the opponent's players. And you let them run the other way. And then you scream, they stole the ball from me. No, you threw it to them. You had a wide open run to go straight into the end zone. Why was George Michael not present at your 2013 court case if he was so pivotal to proving your innocence? I think that's a very valid question. And don't tell me it's because your lawyer said he was taking care of it all. I would, if I was in your position, I would have made sure George Michael showed up. I'd be like, hey, man, what do I have? Do I have to fly you out here to the court case? I need you here so that I could win my case. Remember that script I sent you? Yeah, well, they shredded it to pieces and they used it. That's what I would have did. I would have went and called George Michael to come here and be a witness on the stand. You had to pay $58,000 to Warner Brothers because you lost the case. How much would it have cost you to fly George Michael out? A couple $100? What about the housing? What if he wanted a hotel? Another few $100? What if he needed to stay at a hotel for a week? $1,000? It's a lot less than $58,000, right? Learning in the comments says, anyone talking about unity and other fluffy talk gives me an instant yellow flag. Yeah, well, he talks about compassion and humanity, right? He wants to say I'm callous and cold just for the fact that I'm questioning him. But no. He wants to remain a perpetual victim on the precipice of getting what he's always wanted. He's an edgelord. He loves staying at the end of Act 2. Not at the very end of Act 2, but right before the end of Act 2. He's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to get past that point. I even made that a reality for him by showing up to his house because he asked me to film his documentary. When I got there, he said, no, let's do the book. And then he went on to say that there were 2 other documentaries being made. Where are those? It's been 2 years. Where are those documentaries? Again, valid questions that I probably won't ever get answers for. And all because I had questions. And I had my own red flags going off about the people that were surrounding you, controlling you. You can have your water cooler gossip queen talk anytime you want. You don't have to have it with your handlers. But you don't want to hear that. That's what I don't get. You want the truth, but when the truth is put in front of you, you reject it. Cognitive dissonance. It's fascinating. You can't help yourself, and therefore you can't help others. You talk about saving children. Have you saved a single child from the PDF file ring? Where are they? Why aren't they going on shows with you and saying, Tom saved me? He wants to paint this picture of being altruistic, when in reality, he's narcissistic. And you can hear on the intro I played at the beginning of the show, he said the people asking questions about his ego are committing worse crimes than the pedophiles trafficking children. That's what he said. Those are his words. They're out on the internet for everyone to listen to. The people who question his story, he views as worse than people who RAPE and MURDERCHILDREN. That's what he said. And that's probably what he believes. And in his eyes, everyone's guilty until proven innocent, right? So there's absolutely no way I could prove that I didn't laugh in front of him in his house about his 2 dead sons. Yet, I can play the clip of audio like I did earlier on this show today, which shows him praising me and Jen and saying that the 3 of us were meant to be, it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Why would he be saying that if I said anything derogatory or reacted in a derogatory manner at all whatsoever about the passing of his 2 sons? He's a liar. Lerny says in the comments, to a narcissist, truth doesn't matter. Perception does. Yeah, it does. That's why, in other instances in my life, I've told a narcissist, everyone loves you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Everyone loves you. Why are you acting like this? You know what they did months later after ignoring me for that time? They said, you said everyone loves you. I said, yeah, and I meant it. Said, oh, no, you. The narcissist believes that you're trying to hurt them when you're saying positive things. They think you're being sarcastic. I believe Tom is a very troubled individual. The claims he makes are very grand. I wanted to believe they were true, because I have my own biases about Hollywood. The truth that Hollywood is destroying people, that truth, he's using it as a crutch to support his own fabricated stories, including the ones he makes up about me. You ever think about that? And I said before, if he's doing it with me, if he's saying these things about me that aren't true, what other things is he saying about people that aren't true? How many others has he tried to throw under the bus because they tried to take him to a place that he was uncomfortable with, that would have helped him grow as a person and an individual? Yeah, realizing your closest friends are your handlers. I had some of those in high school, in college. People that told me that my ideas were stupid, to just do the shit they were doing. Those are handlers just as much as the people you're going on the shows with, like Penny and Michael Yago. Are they not? They told you to stay away from me, right? But that doesn't matter anymore, right? Anyway, let's continue on here. Tom can say that I get angry and whatever else he wants to say. But what he said on this interview that we watched last week in that first hour was very offensive to me. And I show my emotions. I don't wear a mask like this. Tom Althouse does. Like, I don't wear a mask like he does. The narcissist will lie up and down and pretend everything's okay. And then turn around and do this shit.
We asked, can we prove ourselves? What was needed for them at that dimension to finally connect? And then the images came. And with that image, but remember I told you about the gold band, the man looks like you, the gold band, was a jointed three-armed device with a spinning plasma in it. And it was like a visual clue of the schematics, rudimentary, for what would make that engine turn. And then what came out after that? Contact. What do they do in Contact? Does Hollywood know? Well, in Contact, they have the spinning plasma thing, or the spinning ball, turn like a plasma thing in those arms. But they don't do it right. It's not the same, and it's overblown, as Hollywood often does. But I think they knew, because the vision I had was before Contact, of that very thing. But it was more simplistic, not so.
So is he claiming now that he got a vision and then they used it in Contact? Like, are you serious? If I were to entertain this idea he's presenting now, if anyone were to get download of ancient tech, it's not just going to go to one individual and that's it. He's claiming he got this vision and then Hollywood used it. This is like treading territory of the wife having a dream that the husband cheated on her, and then she wakes up and hits the husband and be like, you cheated on me in my dream. Like, this is the territory we're getting into. Tom is having visions of ancient tech and then saying that Hollywood used his vision to make the movie Contact?
Hollywoodized, overblown. Which
Well, that makes. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
A lot of that makes sense. Sounds like a sonic amplifying tech or for the pineal gland, and the Contact thing I've seen as referenced in soft disclosure for Project Looking Glass, in they reverse engineering the physics of the pineal gland in construction of both being able to remote view the future and the past, and then also syncing that up with TV technology and viewing, as well as teleportation with like Project Pegasus.
Right. I want to ask you too with that. I'm jump right on you. The idea of this concept started coming of transferring the consciousness, the essence of the other extra dimension, into ours by having.
Oh, like demons? Like possession? You got visions from demons, dude. Oh, but you're not Christian, you're Jewish, right? So you accept this as a truth, right? I don't even know anymore, man. You know, this guy... Whatever. I'm clarifying what's accurate here. And he's talking about me, about things that never happened. It's my obligation as a person to come on here and say that, no, that did not happen. And that further adds to my claim that he's a liar.
That can receive it, and they can function within. Which sounds like, what was I saw? It was like that. Well, Star Trek had that. Star Trek had it of the storm, of the beings trapped in the storm, and they had to take over bodies. Again, they made it bad, where they took over bodies of the crew to transfer their consciousness. But my understanding is this...
What, are you going to go after Gene Roddenberry too now? Or what's the other guy? The one that made Lost. The one that did the reboot of Trek. that did the new Star Wars, the first Disney Star Wars. That guy? How come he never talk about them? It's like he's using all these movie titles as buzzwords to get people interested in his story that has nothing to do with any of this stuff. Like I said, it's good water cooler talk, but what does this have to do with the Immortals?
Of the beings trapped in the storm, and they had to take over bodies. Again, they made it bad, where they took over bodies of the crew to transfer their consciousness. But my understanding is this device might do that, allow the bridge to be more of a conscious transference kind of thing. Does that make sense? Rather than a physical body coming through the hole. I don't know. Anyway, there's so much I like to throw out to people here because you sound like you got your group. So it's like
you've also touched upon the whole cosmic abandonment thing with the higher dimensional fathers or mothers and stuff, and how like people have grown with this wound. I also like that concept with the heaven earth process, bringing heaven here, which we can definitely touch upon. And what your vision of seeing that is, because it seems like the mate. And I'll go into asking you more of your physics and belief on the Matrix, but it seems like the Matrix is both a cage, prison, kind of catcher's mitt for Sonics, limiter, harvester, and it's separated.
He's giving them answers before he asks the question. And I don't think he even knows that he's doing that.
It's us from other realities, other dreams, other perception is that sometimes we may dream into, and I've also been taken to.
A good interviewer will not paint the picture of the answer before he asks the question. That's not how good interviews go. To all the ass kissers out there that believe Tom Althouse is 100% telling the truth about everything he's talking about, I want you to think about one thing. He lied about what I did while I spent my time by him to work on his documentary. What ended up happening was more of like therapy sessions where he was dumping on me what trauma he went through, and then he had to take breaks. I was ready to go all day. No, he had to go and decompress after sharing a 20-minute story. I'm not going to blame him. I know that he's a troubled individual. Clearly, things happened to him that he is the way that he is. He sent me pictures of him in his mental institution in the clothes, and that reel that I posted, and I think even the interview that I did with him where he showed those photos on the show, that got demonetized because of sensitive material, right? So this dude actually was in a mental institution, Tom Althouse. He talks about it. He says that his family sent him there on a 302. Now, do you think that was done out of love by the family? Perhaps. If he couldn't help himself, then of course his family would step in to get him the help he needed. But then, with all the conditions he has, including the narcissism, he'll turn it around and be like, no, they were trying to silence me. They were trying to kill me. Penny L.A. Shepherd also spent time in the mental institution, but she checked herself in, according to her. All these people that he talks to, like, I've... He's never met Penny. I met Penny personally. In person, just like I met Tom. I went and saw they were real, living people. And I say it exactly like that because if they're putting on a show, if they're acting, if they're not being their genuine selves, then yeah, I saw the living, breathing vessel that they're inhabiting, right? You want to get all spiritual here? But I don't think I saw the real people that were inside those vessels. I saw the masks that they were projecting onto the world. Okay? And again, I'm here on my own volition. No strings attached here. I have no elites telling me to do these shows. There's no money coming in from anybody saying, like, go after Tom Althouse. Oh, there's none of that. I'm doing this all on my own, brother. You used to call me your brother, Tom, right? What happened? Why the cold shoulder? Why try to reverse things on me and say I ghosted you with a 5-minute window for interview number 23? When interview 1, you made me wait over an hour, where I actually did take all of this stuff down. And then once you got back to me, I put it all back up. Because I thought it was that important to have you get your story out on an already established channel. These are things I want everyone to think about. I want everyone to think about this. This guy called me his Morpheus because I saved him from the Matrix. In his deposition audio, he talks about just wanting to move on with his life. This was 2013 he was saying he wanted to move on with his life. Or 2014. You can easily say it was 12 years ago, where he wanted a settlement from Warner Brothers for $60,000 so that he could pay court costs. He ended up owing Warner Brothers $58,000 because he walked out of his own deposition. And we played the audio here of that deposition that he recorded himself, that he gave to me, so that we could use it in his documentary, because he thought it was evidence in his favor. But all it really did was show that he brought upon his own destruction. Look at him now. Who paid Warner Brothers that $58,000, Tom? Was it your mom? Why would you make your mother pay $58,000 court case bill to Warner Brothers? You say I'm some low-level D-list play. Look at you. Look at you, man. That's pretty low. I don't think you had the $58,000 to pay Warner Brothers. Why'd you walk out of the deposition? Were you scared? If you had such an ironclad case, why didn't you just stay and see it through to the end like you say on all of these shows? Instead, you go, oh, time's up. I'm leaving. The lawyer questioning you at your deposition is like, Judge, let it be known on record that he is leaving the deposition. The court transcriber that says, wait, no, wait. I can't transcribe with both of you talking over each other. Why did all that happen? All you had to do was practice patience. That's why I gave the football analogy earlier. You had the football. You had an open pocket to the end zone. And instead of running with the ball and making the touchdown, you turned around and found the opponent team and threw the ball at them to make sure they caught it. And when they ran the other way and scored their touchdown, you pointed at them and said, look, they stole it. They stole the ball from me. There's nothing I could have done to get to the end zone. No. It was wide open for you. And you balked. Like in baseball. There's a term in baseball called balking. You moved before it was over. And you brought upon your own destruction. Because now you're here making lies up about me. Which never happened. Character assassination you're attempting here, man. I'm on here to secure my good name. All you're doing is tearing others down. You're not building anybody up. You're talking in platitudes all the time. But you're not practicing those platitudes. Humanity. What humanity? Courage? What courage? You're a coward. And you walked out of your own deposition. Where's George Michael for your case? He was alive 3 years before he died. The court case was active 3 years before he died. Why didn't he make it there? Why didn't you tell him how important it was for him to be there? Or did he not want to have anything to do with you either once he found out you were lying too? What if he heard that you were saying to people that you met him and he said that's not true? Tom mailed me his script and I said, sure, why not, whatever. I'm asking valid questions here. They might be difficult, Tom, but they're valid. But instead, you want to claim, like you do in the clip in the intro that I have, that anyone questioning your ego are committing crimes that are worse than pedophiles, R-A-P-I-N-G, children. That's the box you want to put me in? You better hope Aiden doesn't ever see these videos. The emotional damage that he'll have from this duality of you, Tom, I don't know if it'll ever be repairable. It's up to you, and you only, to practice genuinity. And you're not. And you got caught in a lie. You got caught in a lie about me. So what else are you lying about? Tell the truth. Instead of ranting and raving. Saying the same thing over and over and over. The same act over and over and over. You're like a sitcom character, Tom. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. That's you, Tom. Michigan J. Frog. You know that cartoon that has Michigan J. Frog in it? The owner of the frog sees that frog dance all the time. But when he goes to show other people that the frog dances, the frog just sits there like a lame thing with its tongue out. But when he's by himself with the frog. The frog gets out the cane. Frog gets out the top hat. Starts doing the jazz hands. Starts kicking its legs out. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. That's Tom performing on all of these interviews. That's why I say that. There's no variance to his emotion. It's just all... Can you believe this? I got something good to tell. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Isn't it? Yeah, it's good. Oh, things are going to be so good. Going forward, it's going to be so good. Like, that's what you're like, man. Can you be real for once? You use your deceased sons as leverage. You have nothing to criticize me about. So you have to make up lies saying I mocked you in person, in your face. And you didn't punch me? Again, valid questions, right? Tough questions, but valid questions. I think you're just so used to talking into the void that just the thought of me responding back frightens you to no end. And like I said last week, that lie that you told about me only makes me dig my heels in deeper. It only makes me double down. So again, I don't know what you're doing here, dude. But you're not the writer of The Matrix. You are not the writer of The Matrix. Okay? So take that title off of your screen and never put it on there again. Because you are not the writer of The Matrix. Not the screenplay, not the shooting script. That's not you. That's not your work. As much as I dislike the Wachowskis and what they're doing now, wearing the opposite gender's clothes, going 20 minutes from my house down to Music Box Theater to talk about that type of stuff instead of their film catalog. Yeah. I have my gripes with the Wachowskis. The Wachowski brothers. And I will always call them the Wachowski brothers. Because that's their name. Here, take a look at this. See that? What does that say on there? Larry and Andy Wachowski. Yeah. Again, shooting script. Numbered shooting script. March 29th, 1998. Where's yours? Let's see yours. Filed into the Library of Congress. December 22nd, 1998. March 29th. December 22nd. Your date comes later, Tom. Why is that? Tell me, why is that? How come the shooting script of The Matrix matches to a T what we see in the final edited product. If they were making it up as they went, there would be no shooting script like that. And if they did have your script in their laps, like you claim, while they were on set, how come that doesn't reflect in the final cut of the film? Again, valid questions. But I'm a monster according to Tom. I don't know how much more of this I can watch. We got through 15 minutes today. We're going to listen to a few more minutes, and then I'm going to call it, because it's already almost 4 o'clock. And I'm kind of curious as to what garbage WWE is going to produce today. Again, it's the Showcase of the Immortals weekend with WWE WrestleMania. But synchronistically, we just started reading the Immortals. You could say that we are doing a showcase of the Immortals to see what's really in it. 118 matchups, Tom. We're 20 pages in. The most I could say in the 20 pages are 2 loose matchups, meaning you have to fill in the gaps in your head to make it make sense. In other words, it's called a stretch. But I'm still keeping tabs. 2 out of 20 pages. The stories are completely different. Completely different. The subject material, completely different. If someone's dancing to music that's played on a cassette in Risky Business or something, then if they do that in Ferris Bueller, is that ripped off? If they do that in multiple... Like, if that's the standard way you listen to music is cassette tapes in the 80s, does that mean every film that has characters dancing to music on a cassette tape, is that because they stole it from the first person that did it? Philip K. Dick said we live in a matrix in the 1970s at a French conference. It's on video. When I was interviewing Tom claimed he never heard of it or seen it before. Based on this conversation, he'd say it's a Mandela effect. I don't know where that came from, but it's all about precedence here, right? You want to claim precedence for the idea that became the Matrix film, right? Yet, you refuse to acknowledge Philip K. Dick in the 1970s claiming we are living in a computer-generated reality. That's very convenient for you, isn't it? Plausible deniability through ignorance, right? Again, valid questions. And at the end of the day, only Heavenly Father Creator can judge you. I'm just letting my curiosity get the best of me. Right? But at the same time, I have to clear my name because I cannot allow you to spread lies about me. There's this... It's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. You don't even reach out to me. It's your own problem. That you created. You created this problem. On your own volition. people reach out their hands to help you, and you chop their hands off. You bite the hand that feeds you. And round you go.
In multiple places in temporal dilation. And it's so I know this isn't the only reality of this physical 3D, but and some people have gleamed into that, and it's like looking past that veil, like the alchemist. And so a lot of people like go into this with the matrix concepts. So first question, what do you think is the heaven to earth process? And then we can fully go into your belief on what is the matrix.
Well, this is so deep. I mean, what you hit just is so important to a deep core, especially for parents with children. You always think about their future, about our mortalities. What if, and I don't mean to sound sacrilegious, but what if this was written?
I'm smiling right now because I see the game he's playing. He's trying to pull on the heartstrings of anybody who's a parent. I'm not a parent right now, right? So I see through the BS.
What is the matrix?
Well, this is so deep. I mean, what you hit just is so important to a deep core, especially for parents with children. You always think about their future, about our mortalities. What if, and I don't mean to sound sacrilegious, but what if this was written, given, it was given through, right? First tested, trained, given through, had to be compassionate, had to do it right. And I felt like it was perfected. It was a prophetic thing. And all this coming true, even the fake Oval Office is in there. But the idea was that it was a piece that would act as a beacon. This was supposed to gather a remnant. This is something that people would see. And now we can understand why they took it and mocked it on set. They mocked it on set, didn't even think it would Matrix 1 would fly. And when it did, they were forced to have to do second and third. They didn't want to. That's why they did totally off this for second and third with everything, right? But the thing is, it's a...
Again, we read 20 pages of this. We've read 20 pages of this thing. We're comparing the first Matrix to the Immortals, and he's claiming they used the rest of the story and reloaded and Revolutions. Where's the monkey in the pillowcase? Where's the images of, World War II Germany and the crucifixion of Christ? Where's that? Besides Revolutions having the whole Neo-Christ complex. Where is all that? Tell me. How you guys doing out there in the chat here? Today's show was completely ad-free for live viewers, and I'm going to be doing that going forward. So I hope that helps with everybody trying to get this information.
Beacon to bring in a remnant, top people who are experts in their discipline with compassion in there to create the tech needed, Neuralink and others, to make that bridge. And it just occurred to me now, Sean, since this is what it's meant to be, it would come together by the sharing of it. If humanity would come together peaceably with compassion and share these things that we're doing right now, the answers would come. So I was asking more questions than answers, and we're doing it right now, after it's been hijacked for how many years? And the idea was that through Neural Enhancer, not Neuralink, Warner Brothers and Paramount, Neural Enhancer, we can come up with a system of transference where our parents can come through.
But he refuses to talk about Ghost in the Shell, which was a manga before a movie. He's trying to say that Ghost in the Shell is not relevant to this conversation.
This world and be safe. I think it's wonderful that we're going to rescue, if this is true, we're going to rescue our parents. I mean, what greater calling could we have? I like it better than the story that God was bored. He's alone, felt lonely. I don't like that. I like that God is super cool.
Yeah, like deism.
Yeah, like that there is the parentals that actually gave us, we had a great purpose. And to fulfill that purpose is going to be amazing. We'll benefit from that too. So anyway, I lost track of the question.
Oh, well, before you finish, and then we'll go to that one. I agree with you. I've had this belief of a while that we're going to rescue our parents concept. And so I didn't even know about your thing.
Are you serious?
So yeah. So here's my belief. So feel free to take it with a grain of salt.
I'm going to turn my mic off so I can listen without jumping on you. Go ahead. All right. My mouth move and then I'll happy you can't hear me.
Yeah, no problem. You got a lot of wisdom. I love it. So the concepts that I've tuned into is that, like some of the things with the human experiment, like beginning, a lot of things added things to us, their genetics, like God, the fractal.
All right, this is a good point to stop watching this particular interview. I'm just going to keep it for next week. We'll just keep watching this because I can only digest so much. It's frustrating to have to pause this every 10, 20 seconds to correct the record and to fill in here, like, about what's really going on. But I don't care. I'll do this 10 more episodes till we get through this. I don't care. This is a weaponized interview designed to attack me. Because he didn't do this on Penny's show the other day. At least I don't think he did. Grok told me he didn't, but Grok also lied about other things too. Probably from a lack of direct information. But I found out a lot of information from Grok. It's a good tool to use to scrape the internet for things. Andreas says, I'm fine, man. That's good. Glad you're still here. It was telling me 0 concurrent viewers, and then you guys all answered me. So, YouTube, you're lying to me again. Through OBS, you're lying to me. Lerny says, again, it's the meant to be talk. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's his crutch. His platitudes. You know, like Cody Rhodes? I love you, and I respect you, and you're so smart. And I never met anybody that was as smart as you. So we got the timestamp down here for this show. We got an hour and 22 minutes in 33 seconds in. 1 hour, 22 minutes, 33 seconds in. Oh no. The numerology people are going to come after me now, right? I'll play one last time that clip of what Lerny brought up here.
Which?
Yeah, Andreas, it's saying 5 concurrent viewers for me now. It said 0. It said 0 at the time. So I wonder if it's just that people don't touch their mouse or anything. They just let the screen go, that they think that people have dropped away. That could be the case. You know, Google's this giant mega conglomerate company now. It's like, I still give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Yeah, there's still errors that happen on their platform. So we'll end the show again with this audio clip, which was, I honestly want to say, like, under 24 hours before I left his place. Which gives Tom so little wiggle room to say, like, you listen to this clip and tell me that I laughed in front of him in his house about his 2 dead sons. But yet he's saying this the day before I go.
Which is cool if it could also harness your audio clip and make an audio version.
Yes! Oh my god! Brilliant! Okay, this is meant to be, we 3 are the ones. So, yeah, this is meant to be.
Unless he's wearing a mask, you know? Who knows? Who knows? All right. Thank you for being here, everyone. Andreas, I missed a comment of yours. Andreas says, just wondering how long this jackass will keep doing this before giving up. I wonder the same thing, Andreas. I want to say, when nobody will believe his bullshit anymore, when when the collective consciousness raises to a level where they can see through all the bullshit that he's spewing from day one. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of those people. But I'm here now. And all you other ex-hosts of Tom, you're welcome to join me in calling out the truth. The truth is lonely when everyone's comfortable with lies. Lerny says, oh my God, it's meant to be. It's us. We are special. Yeah, that's basically what Tom was saying in that clip. And round we go. You get it. You get it. You're one of the first people to understand and get it. You're so smart. We need to collaborate. We need to do all this stuff. And then, they're just like my sister. Come on, man. Tom, go talk to your sister. She probably misses you. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's probably the most genuine thing you'll hear from me today. Okay? Go talk to your sister. It'll probably be good for your health. All right. So, again, Tuesday, I will be back here, 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing our continual deep dive series into Coral Castle. We're covering electromagnetism and anti-gravity this week. And then on Thursday, we are continuing our deep dive into the Bermuda Triangle. Also to do with electromagnetism and portals, time displacement, time dilation, time and space. Andreas says, always trying to butter up the hosts before they outlive their usefulness. Then goodbye, don't need you anymore. That's exactly what's happening here, Andreas. I'm glad I'm not the only one seeing it. And I didn't think I was the only one seeing it because I've had support through all of this being on the other side of the interviews now where, like, I'm asking the hard questions he's never going to answer because he doesn't want to talk to me. But, Tom, go give your sister a call. Patch things up. Life's too short, man. Go talk to your daughter, too. You have a sister and daughter that love you. Just be yourself. All right? You could retire the mask. Until the next one, class dismissed.
Well, I sure appreciate your presence and your demeanor, and I'm really on the lookout for people that are actually genuine and articulate and have a heart. I'd say I'll consider you a friend. You did the work. You did this. When the right people are calling the shots, and like yourself, you've got these gifts and you've got these stories, you've got these abilities and these projects. That's why people like Stephen Nizell. It's like, he knew all this. And when I was with that particular person, he was laughing at the death of my son. He was laughing in front of me in my home at the death of sons. It's like,
what? That's a blatant lie. You kidding me?
People that make opinions and that they're saying like egotistical things like this. People that make those opinions, you're doing worse than the cabal. You're doing worse than those that are pedophiles harming children. Whoa. You are worse than any of them with your opinions. You're doing more harm than those that are swinging the swords. I'm not out to put anybody down. No one. I don't want to be drawn into so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's putting down so-and-so. No, I don't have time for that.
What the f is going on here?
And so I'm holding this up because I think it's kind of fun. I'm in danger of being ridiculed by an evil snowman.
Oh my God!
I mean, that hat, the hat is nowhere else except on Burl Eyes. Facial fur.
That's what I'm dealing with. It's like,
They're
yeah,
part of the Nephilim clown bloodline.
it's incredible. It's like, yeah. I mean, that's a nobody player.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
People like myself.
Asshole.
We're quick to forgive. We're quick to embrace. We'll be like somebody says, "I'm sorry for it. You got me. Let's celebrate." That's how we are. Instantly forgive. This garbage of false glory has got to stop, and I'm tired of it. Let's stop being turned on each other. And let's stop looking for ways to accuse each other of turning on each other. And let's start lifting each other. And we've got this. Those 14 other screenplays going on 15 that I have is for the new world order, new world that is our people.
Yeah.
So I am presenting my honorary Queen of the World for your courage,
Thank you.
brilliance, beauty, compassion, divine feminine, and never say no.
Thank you, baby.
There you are. Yeah, if I'm a fraud, bring it on. Let's do it. Come on, I'll be easy to debunk if I'm a fraud.
Me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.